What's interesting to see is that on Monday night, where we had a doubleheader, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a game-winning drive, and then the Los Angeles Chargers come out and handle business versus the Las Vegas Raiders. So on today's episode, we got to talk about it. Are we overlooking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and are the Chargers making a statement in the AFC? Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you got to hit the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, and I'm holding it down on the daily episode today. So if you're tuned in, ready to talk some football, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. But hey, yesterday we had two really good games. That late night game, I ain't even gonna lie to you, it was for the birds because I don't know why the NFL booked it for that late. But hey, we loved the game, so most of us stayed up. Most of us said we're gonna catch the rest of the morning. I ain't even mad at y'all that chose to catch the rest of the morning. But hey, we looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a team. To me personally, can make some noise in the NFC. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have won their division the last 4 years and looking like they are ready to take the NFC South for a fifth year in a row. And the reason I'm coming out and saying that a lot of teams are overlooking the Tampa Bay Bucs is simply because we're talking a lot about the Eagles. We're talking a lot about the Detroit Lions. We're talking a lot about the Green Bay Packers, while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come out here and they continue to take care of business. Just in week one, they went out there and took care of business versus the Atlanta Falcons and what was a comeback win to close out that game. And Baker Mayfield put on a show. 3 touchdowns in that game. And then young rookie Emeka Ibuka went out there and had himself a good day as well. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm looking at with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The offense is potent. They can score with just about anybody. Now, the defense, if you're comparing them to the Philadelphia Eagles and you comparing them to the the Green Bay Packers, they may be a little bit behind. I would not argue that those two defenses for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers, at least right now, are better. But what I can say about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is that they know how to make plays when necessary. Head coach Todd Bowles over there, he knows exactly what he needs to dial up, when he needs to dial up, and how to adjust on the fly. Just yesterday, when we seen that game versus the Houston Texans, hey, it was a battle between both teams. The Houston Texans defense made plays. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers made plays. And obviously, the determining factor was the Tampa Bay offense, simply because they got the ball late in the game, ran their 2-minute offense to the umpteenth degree. Baker Mayfield, he's a gamer, bro. He's a gamer. He's a gamer. Went 17-32 in the game versus the Atlanta Falcons. And then when you watched them play the Houston Texans in a battle that went back and forth for most of the night and was a hard matchup, because the Houston Texans are a really good team as well and could be fighting for a couple things for themselves. Baker Mayfield yesterday, 25-38, 215, and 2 touchdowns. And again, Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin. that Bucky Irvin made some crazy plays, and especially in that fourth quarter where he caught the ball out of the flat, forced the defender to miss, got upfield, made a couple more people miss for a huge gain. Then Baker Mayfield goes out there, scrambles out of the pocket, goes pick up a first down. Definitely, you know what I'm saying, rolled his ankle a little bit, but got up and talked a little smack to the Houston Texans. These guys are ready to play, man. These guys are ready to play. And Baker Mayfield right now, I'm not even going to hold you, he definitely got to be in an MVP conversation, at least for the first 2 weeks of the season. He has to be. This guy has been balling, and he's been balling since he landed in Tampa Bay. And with the way that these guys are doing it, hey, they can go out there and compete with anybody. And then I think the way that these guys have shown that they can thrive and finish games when the game is tight, and if they get the ball and run their 2-minute offense, they can go out there and do some things, bro. And the crazy thing is they don't even have Chris Godwin out there right now. The young rookie Emeka Ibuka is a guy that I said that I was going to be watching for a while now. A guy that I was really, really high on coming out of the draft from Ohio State. Definitely one of the best route runners to come out this year's draft, and definitely just a hell of a player that understands what needs to be done. And how else can you forget about Mike Evans? Mike Evans has missed consistency. If you want to point somebody or a wide receiver that has been consistent throughout his entire career, that is Mike Evans. That is Mike Evans. Now, when it comes to competing for a Super Bowl or competing within the NFC to reach the NFC Championship game, it's all going to come down to what can that defense do. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, can they make plays at the right moments? Can they go out there and do what's necessary to go out there and close a deal? Now, they do got on that defense guys like Vita Vea, guys like Antoine Whitfield, Levante David is still over there. And then they picked up this offseason Hassan Reddick and guys like that to go out there and help with the pass rush. And you seen yesterday the pass rush was on the money. You know what I'm saying? At least when they needed to make a play, that pass rush made its presence known, and they was able to go out there and take care of business. So I think that while we love talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Green Bay Packers, while we love talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, which are two really good teams, we can simply not overlook the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they are able to do, because I believe that that offense is just going to get a lot better, especially when you see that you have Bucky Irvin and Rashawn White in the backfield. Baker Mayfield being the competitor that he is and has had success around the NFL. It was bogus how they did him in Cleveland, but hey, that's Cleveland. Let Cleveland be Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? And for the meantime, in between time, he been holding it down in Tampa Bay for the last few seasons, and he is off to a great 2-0 start. We'll see where it goes from here, because for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' sake, they need to make sure they take care of business, and they have some favorable matchups that's going to be coming up on the schedule. This Sunday they take on the Jets, and then you get a huge measuring stick game with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Seattle Seahawks, and the San Francisco 49ers, followed by the Detroit Lions. That's a tough 4-week stretch, and we'll be able to really gauge what this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is really made of. But I would say right now, at least after 2 games, we cannot overlook the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's move on to the Los Angeles Chargers. Are they making a statement in the AFC? Absolutely. Absolutely. When you talk about Justin Herbert, we can go out there and we can criticize him for his lack of playoff success, criticize him and say different things about what he has not done. But one thing that he has done, he's always been consistently good. You know what I'm saying? Consistently good. Yeah, we look at a game here and there to where he didn't show what he was absolutely made of, but we can also point to many different instances to where he was able to go out there and help this team win football games. And now under another season under Jim Harbaugh, you got to expect that these guys are just going to continue to do what's necessary to win. Now, in week 1, you look at the Los Angeles Chargers in their matchup versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and you look at that as, hey, they showed the Kansas City Chiefs that we here. We trying to compete within the AFC West, and we trying to compete within the AFC in total. Now, there will be some, discussions about if the Buffalo Bills are still better, if the Baltimore Ravens are still better, can they get over the hump versus the Kansas City Chiefs? And all those are fair questions and things to ask because it's so early in the season, right? But one thing I will say is that defense be humming. Their running game is only going to get better in my evaluation. And we're going to see this team in the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to see what they're actually made of. They held the Las Vegas Raiders to 9 points yesterday and made Geno Smith throw 3 interceptions. Yeah, he threw 43 times. And out of the running back room, they didn't do much of anything, only 68 yards out of 19 carries. Aston Genty held to 43 yards, and Geno Smith had to get loose on himself with 20 yards. So if we keeping it a buck, and if you take out Geno Smith, it's only 43 yards given up on the ground. And for the Los Angeles Chargers, you got guys like Omari and Hampton. He put on himself he had himself, you know what I'm saying? You look at the box score, you say only 8 for 24. So that's basically like 3 yards a carry. But you say, man, on some of them carries, the man refused to go down. The man refused to go down. And anybody that knows football, anybody that has played football knows if you played on the defensive side, it's a headache constantly having to tackle a mud that just won't go down. And I think that running game is only going to get better. Justin Herbert did what was necessary to win the game, went 19 of 27 for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. Come on now. Come on now. And the good thing is for the Los Angeles Chargers, it seemed like Quentin Johnston is starting to roll around. Keenan Allen continues to look good and cook. And then Lad McConkey didn't even go over and get himself a touchdown, but 5 receptions for 48 yards is nothing to sneeze at when you look at how far this wide receiver group was last season and some of the problems that persisted while the season was going on, especially with drops or guys running the wrong routes or not necessarily making plays when necessary. And I think that the Los Angeles Chargers, they might have something to say. I think they might have something to say. Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, they was talking greasy before this game. Greasy. And Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers went out there and took care of business. So you got to show them love in that regard to, hey, we went out there, we took care of 2 divisional opponents on the road. That's what wins football games in the playoffs. If you are able to travel on the road. Now I'm interested to see how this Chargers team will look as they get ready. I believe they're going home this week. Yes, they will be at home this week versus another divisional opponent in the Denver Broncos. And we will be live for that game, for the post game after that game, because I have to honestly see it. And then they are going to be able to stack some wins because after Denver, you have the Giants, you have the Washington Commanders with a injured Jaden Daniels, the Miami Dolphins, the Indianapolis Colts, who look good so far after 2 weeks, and then the Minnesota Vikings, who is going to be starting Carson Wentz in the absence of J.J. McCarthy. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I cannot put the Los Angeles Chargers over teams like the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens as of right now. But what I can say is that the Los Angeles Chargers, they seem to be letting people know that they're coming. But obviously, they have to win football games. It's only been 2 games played, so we shall see what transpires after a couple weeks. But as of right now, the Chargers are making a statement that we're going to travel, we're going to play hard defense, we're going to run the rock, and we're going to let Justin Herbert cook. And shout out to Jim Harbaugh for holding his players accountable. Like, hey, we got to help this man. He's a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. Let's make sure our Hall of Fame caliber quarterback has the support that's necessary so we can win football games as a team. And that's what Jim Harbaugh has inspired his team to do. I'm not going out there and say that they're definitively better than the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills as of right now. But if they continue to play like this, it's going to have to be some conversations made for sure when you talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. But hey, that is it for me today, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about all things discussed. Let me know how y'all feeling about the Bucs. Are we overlooking them? Let me know how you feel about the Los Angeles Chargers. Are they making a statement in the AFC? I say yes to both of those questions, and we going to see what transpires as the NFL season continues. But that is it for me, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning into another episode. Before you get up out of here, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all over here, and y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace out, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break